And now, cutting through your typical media nonsense and offering you a rational and unbiased perspective on current events and life in Tampa Bay. He's a successful entrepreneur, published author, top listing agent, a real estate and finance expert that goes to bat for you every day as a consumer advocate. Your host and the consumer quarterback, Brandon Rimes.
All right, welcome to the show. Thanks for spending some time with us here. Thanks for supporting the local economy by supporting the Consumer Quarterback Show and all of our expert contributors. We got Jay Smith, A-Snoop Inspection, back in studio with us, a-snoop.com. You can find him online. He's our home inspector. All things home inspection related, all questions you have. He is a great resource. We're going to talk with him here in just a moment. Before we do, a couple of hot listings and also our feel-good story of the day. We got a real good feel-good here. It's California fire saves Altadena homes from blaze with nothing but milk and a couple of beers. So he saved the house. That's a feel-good story if I ever heard one. So more with Jay coming up here in just a minute. A couple of hot listings here. 8107 Sierra Manor Lane. This one is in Tampa. It's double branch area. Beautiful property here. This is one of my favorite listings. $1 million listing from the Platinum MVP team. 4-bedroom, 4-bath, 3-car garage. 2-story single-family home. 3611 square foot. Over an acre of land. Of course, you have updated granite countertops, Wolf gas stove, metal roof with a 65-year warranty, Jay. What do you think about a 65-year warranty on a metal roof, man? That's awesome, right?
It's possible.
Yeah. That's you never have to buy a roof again.
I don't know. Personal opinion, you can't beat a metal roof.
I know, right? I mean, yeah, you see, yeah, exactly. Shingles flying everywhere. This one's a beautiful property. 8107 Sierra Manor Lane, Tampa. You have 130 feet of private water frontage, no backyard neighbor, 6,000-pound boat lift, and a private dock. Access to the upper Tampa Bay waters there. You take your boat to dinner. I mean, what kind of lifestyle? I mean, great lifestyle here in Tampa Bay. Taking your boat to dinner. You got your jet skis out there. This would be perfect for a family with kids. Get the jet skis out there. Get them out there doing some fishing. You might catch a couple snook back there, a couple redfish. You never know in those mangroves. So great opportunity. 8107 Sierra Manor Lane in Tampa, one of our beautiful properties in Tampa Bay. 1905 Masters Way. I love this home. This is out in East Hillsborough County. You have Plant City, 1905 Masters Way. 4-bedroom, 3-bath. 2-car garage, 29 square feet, 0.38 acre lot with no backyard neighbor. So you look out that back window and you're looking at a beautiful conservation area, split floor plan, beautiful property. Walden Lakes is the community. 1905 Masters Way and beautiful Plant City. And you can see all of our listings at platinummvpteam.kw.com. Little throwback to our friend, the late and great Toby Keith, man. Toby Keith, what a great musician he was. Dave, tell us about our Brio event coming up. Third Thursday event. You are invited, all of our audience out there. You're invited to our Third Thursday event. You can count on it like clockwork. Every month, we're going to have a Third Thursday event. We're going to mix it up. It's going to be in Hillsborough. It's going to be in Pinellas, so we can give everybody equal time to come on out and hang out with us. What are we doing over there, Dave?
Well, we're going to be over there on Thursday, February 20th. That's the Brio Tuscan Grill at the International Mall. It's a great time, of course, because everyone gets together, do the networking. You get hands-on with show guests and get the experts. Build your business that way. Plus the food. Chef Oscar Ramirez is fantastic with that, of course. So, yeah, definitely come on down.
Yeah,
expand your business.
He does a great job on the food there. You got the lamb chops. You got that the different flatbreads. We had some beef carpaccio last time. Excellent food. Jay, you're always showing up. They're great networking there. Meet a lot of good people.
Every time.
Yeah, meet some good people there, and you never know. Hey, look, the plumbing contractor might refer business to the home inspector, who might refer business to the mortgage broker, et cetera. That's how this deal works. That's how this community works, and that's part of what we've done here with the Consumer Quarterback Show. It's all about helping you as a consumer by bringing on all the great expert contributors, and we really appreciate it. You know, we had an uptick in calls lately. We had a bunch of people calling in wanting to refinance their mortgages, get some properties on the market, looking at listing with us and buying with the team. So we really appreciate that. It really means the world. 727-263-3707. Call or text the show hotline. 727-263-3707. You can call or text. That's an off-air number, and we'll put you in touch with Jay Smith, A-Snoop Inspection, or any of our other expert contributors. Got about 35 show partners and then 80 different categories because some of them cover multiple categories. So we're going to talk with Jay Smith, home Inspections here. Jay, what are you seeing out there in the market? What's some of your top tips out there?
Top tips. I mean, there's some houses out there that need a little work. Seems like they've come back a little bit. I mean, it's interesting. So home inspection is super important.
Yeah.
Because you never know what you're going to find. I'm not doing those perfect houses right now. The houses that have been sitting on the market and finally coming down in price, I think people are very price conscious right now, and they're buying those.
Yeah. Yeah, because the rates, the rates are affecting. I mean, you've lost so much buying power since 2022. Here's the stats that I was kind of teasing before the show. We were talking about this. So if you look at the latest numbers, this is Hillsborough County non-distress, what they call non-distress. So we pulled out all the REOs and all the short sales. So there's not many of those at all. But you have 5,731 active properties in Hillsborough County. That gives us, if you divide that by the solds, which was 1,569 solds, that gives us a 27.4% absorption rate. Now, and a 3.7 month supply of inventory. So what's interesting is if you compare that to March of 22, kind of call that the high watermark with sales back after the China virus came across from China. You have 1,118 properties active in March of 22. That's a difference of 4,613 properties between then and now.
Wow.
So in other words, buyers have 6 times more options today than they did in March of 22. Your reaction?
Sounds like a good time to buy.
It does, right? Hey, look, there's so many things you can do. And by the way, big news on my end. I just got approved for my mortgage license. I passed the test. I passed all the background checks and all that. So I'm a licensed mortgage loan originator again. I used to do it back in the early 2000s, but the point there is that there's ways you can structure deals, that you can structure loans to either buy down the rate, have a little bit better rate for the first couple of years, call it a 2-1 buy down. So an example, if the going rate is 6.875 roughly, and we're not quoting certain APRs and all that, so the mortgage police can't come after us. Mm-hmm. But if you have a 2% buy down, essentially a 2-1 buy down, they call it, your rate is going to be a 4.875 versus a 6.875. So there's things you can do. Sellers are willing to give up some concessions. So seller concessions can work in your favors too, Jay.
Absolutely. And the buy downs, I think, is a big deal. Just making an easier mortgage, at least for the next couple of years.
Yeah, and then the thinking there is like 3 years later, maybe you refinance it. Maybe the rates are coming down. Trump's demanding rates come down, right? So, that's kind of debatable, right? Because there's nothing federal about the Federal Reserve. They're actually an independent agency. They're not a government body. But, the President of the United States does have some sway over what they may do.
And I think with the market that's changed, I still, in my heart, believe that rates are going to come down this year. But, I mean, if you're waiting for 4s, I don't believe that's happening anytime soon.
Right. Yeah, that's an extreme. Yeah, exactly. So, but if we can get them into the high 5s, I think that's going to spur on a lot of activity.
Yeah, 5.8, 5.9 would be great. And I think it might create a nice even market at that point.
Yeah.
Or it could kick back to a seller's market a little bit.
Well, that's what may happen is you may see multiple offers again on the best properties, the ones that are really good condition, that are priced properly. And that's still happening. We're still seeing, multiple offers in some cases, because if it's a nice home, with a newer roof, newer updates, lighter colors like people like in the kitchens. They don't want that dark, that uba-tuba and,
the espresso.
Yeah, there you go. They don't like it too dark. They want it lighter nowadays. They want to feel that and then add some color with your accessories and your rugs and your throw blankets and pillows. That's how you make the home pop. But when you look at, the overall market, yeah, inventory's up a little bit. We are moving towards a balanced market, but we're still in a seller's market right now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we are, but not by much.
Not by much. And it's interesting too. If you look at, I've got Hillsborough, Pinellas, and Pasco right here in front of me, and Pasco had 4,000 active properties. Again, Hillsborough has 5,700 active properties. Pinellas has 6,700 active properties. Now, the big difference with Pinellas is, and you really have to back out the condos. Because if you back out the condos in Pinellas County, it shows you a different game. So if you back out the condos, it's interesting. When you look at that, I actually don't have that sheet with me, but again, here's Pinellas. You got 6,700 active properties in Pinellas County. Now, if you divide that by the number of solds, 1,416, that gives us a 21% absorption rate and a 4.7 month supply of inventory. So the inventory is still somewhat high. Not quite as high, and here's where you have to really dig into the numbers to get the feel for it. October and November were 5.7 months. Say, okay, so here we are in January, we're at 4.7. But that's come down a little bit.
Sure.
Right. So, and again, if you compare that to March of 22, that high water mark, no pun intended for the floods, but this was related to the COVID lockdowns and things like that. March of 22, in Pinellas County, we only had 1,112 properties available. That's a difference of 5,609 active properties. Again, that number is 6,721 currently. So, again, buyers have 6 times more the options than they did in 2022.
And I know condos are a little bit of a crapshoot right now. They're trying to figure everything out. But there could be some great deals out there for that. I hate to say that. But, it still could be a good time. And if you really do the numbers, sometimes it's still a reasonable investment to get into a condo.
Yeah, think about it. Look, if you throw out a number like $500-$600 as an HOA payment, you got to think about, what does that really include?
Yeah.
Oh, well, you got a pool. That's all your pool maintenance, your pool insurance, your pool upkeep. That covers your roof, your exterior on your roof. Yeah. There's all your maintenance, all your new roof once every 10 years, 20 years.
And the primary insurance, which has been going up.
Exactly.
You calculate that out on your house, how much insurance has been going up every single year.
Exactly. So when you see that $500, $600, $700 HOA fee, if you really look at, okay, well, I got a heated spa, I got a pool, I got the common area maintenance, I got gates over here, I got a gate at the public entrance, all of that's included in that $500, $600, $700 fee.
And a lot of them even negotiating contracts for internet, cable TV.
Exactly.
I mean, it's all in there. And you add all of that up, it's
still not a bad deal. And there's different buyer profiles for different properties. For example, as we mentioned, we had those condos up in Gainesville that we were representing. 92 pre-construction luxury condos in Gainesville. Now, when you look at when you're breaking it down in terms of what's covered there and versus what you're getting, there's different buyer profiles. Is my point. So we know for each property, we're trying to figure out as salesmen and women. We're trying to figure out, hey, who's my buyer for this property? So let's think about that one. You got doctors, nurses, anesthesiologists that are working at Shands Medical. You've got UF, okay? So that means I got the C-class executives all the way down to the teachers. I also have the students, right? So that means I have parents of the students that may want to buy that as an investment, let their kid live there and rent out the other room, right? So when you start thinking about these condos, you think about all the different buyer profiles. And a lot of times the buyer profile for a condo is somebody that wants to lock and go.
Yeah.
They're doing 5, 6, 7 months here. They're doing 5, 6, 7 months up in New York, New Jersey, wherever it might be.
And that's where, what we call the snowbird, maybe including the internet and all that stuff isn't as big a deal because, I'm not there half the year. I'm not using any of those amenities.
Yeah, exactly. And so it's always pluses or minuses, what matches up with your lifestyle. And a lot about Tampa Bay. That's what we like about Tampa Bay, the ability to go out and enjoy the nature side of things. Although we may be losing our Rays from what I hear. Who knows? Did you hear about that group in Orlando?
No.
Yeah, there's a group in Orlando throwing all this money together saying, hey, come on over here. We want the Rays to come to Orlando now. I think the number is something like $400 million if they supposedly were able to raise that much or they had to raise that much here. I don't know. I'm speaking without notes in front of me. But
nothing's impossible.
But yeah, hey, we might lose the Rays. Who knows? But anyways, Tampa Bay, great place to live, work, and play. Stable economy, and still, with the hurricanes we had in the past, we are, hoping and praying that we don't continue to see that pattern. But worst case scenario, you have to pull out some drywall and and do that every 10, 15, 20 years. But
we'll get past all this.
Hopefully, it's 100-year storm. That's what my point is there.
Yeah, 1921 and then 1924.
There you go.
I mean, 1921 and then 2024.
Yeah, exactly. All right, coming up, we're going to talk more with Jay Smith, A-Snoop Inspection here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. Again, support the local economy. You can find him online on Facebook, A-Snoop.com as well. He's on Facebook as well. More with him. Also, interesting clip I want to play about the Panama Canal. Got Senator Ted Cruz weighing in on the Panama Canal, and just that leads to general conversations around free trade and more coming up here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. Follow us online. We'd love to connect with you at BrandonRimes1 at CQB Show. And please subscribe to our YouTube and Rumble channel. We'll be right back.
Thanks for listening to my daddy's show. Please make sure to send him all of your real estate deals and subscribe to the Consumer Quarterback Show podcast on iTunes and Spotify. Or check out our YouTube channel. Have a blessed day.
To get in touch with Brandon, call 727-263-3707. Online at consumerqb.com. Hey, Brandon Rimes here. Did you know that we buy houses cash? We will close quickly and give you a fair offer on your home.
or residential properties, even commercial properties, and we will give you a fair cash offer, close quickly, and be diligent when you're shopping these types of scenarios, because a lot of the wholesalers, the flippers out there, they will sign you up on an as-is contract, and they will shop that contract and try to find a buyer, but they may not find the buyer, and they won't close. So this is Brandon Rimes, 813-917-1894, consumerqb.com. Brandon Rimes, we buy houses cash and fast. Attention business owners, did you know we have 100% financing options available? Our no money down program offers 100% financing for business owners. If you are currently leasing your commercial space, you can purchase real estate for no money down. Additionally, the program offers money for working capital, equipment, and business fixtures. You can even pay off current business debt. Reach out at 813-917-1894. That is my direct cell. You can call or text 813-917-1894. BRimes at KW.com. And that is our 100% financing, no money down program for business owners. We would love to help you buying, selling, or investing in real estate. 813-917-1894. BRimes at KW.com.
You're listening to the consumer quarterback, Brandon Rimes, cutting through your typical media nonsense and offering you a rational and unbiased perspective on current events and life in Tampa Bay. Online at consumerqb.com.
All right, welcome back. Brandon Rimes here, Consumer Quarterback Show, in studio with Jay Smith, the Snoop Dogg, A-Snoop Inspection, in-house with us, a longtime friend of the Consumer Quarterback Show. All things related to your home inspections, residential, commercial. He's seen it all. You can reach out to Jay Smith, A-Snoop Inspection. We'd love to put you in touch with him as well if you reach out to the show hotline. A couple of hot listings, and then we're going to jump right back into it. 12133 Spartan Way, number 204. We got a second floor condo here in Hudson, 221, and you have low maintenance resort style living in unit, largest floor plan in the complex, granite countertops. You got that new wood look tile, fresh interior paint, new subway tile backsplash. I love the interior. You got that lighter color kitchen cabinets that people really like, stainless steel appliances. The community is awesome too. You have heated swimming pool, clubhouse, scheduled events, and more. Check out 12133 Spartan Way, number 204 in Hudson, Florida. Beautiful condo available there. 7720 Maryland Avenue. We have some land for sale. Now, you do have existing structures on this land, great rental income coming in, but the owner tells me you have opportunity to put around 18 to 22 new mobile home units in there potentially, or just build. You can buy and build, buy the dirt. 2.36 acres. You have vacant land. Zoning is RMH, just off of 19, and you're close to downtown Hudson. Great opportunity to buy real estate. 7720 Maryland Avenue in Hudson, Florida. Beautiful property. Great opportunity here. You can see all of our listings at platinummvpteam.kw.com. All right, Jay Smith in the house with us. And Jay, we're talking a little bit about, just in general trade and things happening, out there. And hopefully, we'll see what happens with, Federal Reserve interest rates, Trump demanding interest rates coming down. But I did want to get to this clip because it's such a cool thing to think about, this expansionism that we're kind of thinking about. Greenland, Canada, not so much. I don't think Canada would be a good addition. I think Greenland would. But I love the idea of bringing this Panama Canal back. Check out this clip. This is Ted Cruz.
Over $15 billion in today's dollars were spent by America, by American taxpayers, in building that canal. And Jimmy Carter sadly gave it away, gave it to Panama. It was indefensible. I remember I was a little kid. You were not even been a...
So he goes on and talks about his producer. But, $15 billion of American tax dollars went into building that.
Yeah.
And then Jimmy Carter just gave it away. I don't... to me, it just, I can't fathom how that would happen. But he goes on into that clip to talk about how, kind of how it was structured. And it just
the
said,
treaty and all that stuff. I mean,
exactly.
They need to change it around. I mean,
Yeah.
To let them get away with that is ridiculous. I mean,
Yeah.
it's hurting us.
Yeah, and they're giving China preferential treatment in that, from what I hear, and of course we're not digging in deep onto these topics. If you want more topics, there's obviously other people to look at. But I just love the idea, just in general, of the momentum we have, of, what we're doing as a country now. And it seems like the optimism's there, too.
I mean, honestly, it's just about being fair.
Yeah.
I mean, that's all it is.
Common sense, too.
Yeah. Yeah,
Isn't
and it's hard to use those terms these days.
Not so common, right?
Yeah, not so common.
It's coming back, though.
Yeah. I think
common
it is
sense
coming back.
It's making a comeback.
Yeah,
Common sense making a comeback.
I mean, it needs to.
It really does, yeah. So let's get the Panama Canal back. I love the idea of Greenland, and then some people say, well, you shouldn't be reaching into there. Well, let them vote, because Charlie Kirk rode up there with Don Jr. on the Trump plane, and he says, people up there love America. They would love to be part of America, and the Danish, are treating them terrible. They won't even let them mine some of their rubies. They have a plethora of these minerals, these rare earth minerals, and you need those for cell phones, for computers, for all this, future generation. Yeah.
All the solar stuff. I mean, I'm sure there's some minerals for building out the solar, or the batteries for these electric cars that everybody thinks they want.
Yeah, exactly. Well, that's a whole nother issue. But by the way, solar, we need a good solar company for the show. Anybody out there that has a good solar company that they recommend, please reach out to the show hotline, 727-263-3707. Call or text 727-263-3707. I'd love to find a good solar company here locally that we can bring on and discuss, because I'm a believer in solar on your roof. I'm not a believer of these power companies buying up land and putting these huge solar farms out there. I don't think they should be doing that. I think it should be on the top of buildings, on the top of structures, but not taking arable land or land that we could build homes on and just putting solar there. I don't like that.
Solar's come a long way in the last 10 years, and it can be a good investment, but it is something that you want to consider. You don't want to. I wouldn't consider if you're only going to be in a house for a couple of years.
Right.
I mean, it needs to. It's an investment. You know you're going to be in that house 6, 8, 10 years, and then it could be a good thing.
Yeah, what I like about it is that you're locking in rates. You're essentially is what you're doing. You're buying your power. You're guaranteeing that you're going to have a certain amount of power. You're going to offset that grid. Now, some people can produce more and sell back, to the power companies, but generally speaking, what you're doing is you're kind of locking in at least a portion of your bill to a where you're currently at, and it's financed in a lot of times. But the one thing we do know. And especially, did you see recently, I think it was Duke, one of the power companies, they're going to be having to assess because of the storms and all the excess spending that they did with having the crews out there and the repairing of the lines, et cetera. So, you almost guarantee that your electric bill is going to continue to increase every year, right?
Like everything.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, I'm crossing my fingers that some things are going to come back down some, but we all know. Once they get up there, it's very rare for anything to come down.
True, yeah. I mean, everything from timber, you think about 2x4s and building materials, things like that. Hopefully the overall, Trump effect, that Trump bump that we hear about with the common sense, again, bringing the common sense back. Let's drill, baby, drill. Hopefully that will bring the cost of things down, because now your goods and products that are shipped on all those semi-trucks going to the different Publix, grocery stores, et cetera, there should be some break there. And we'll see. We'll see how it all plays out. Because he did it once, he can do it again.
I believe he can.
Jay Smith in the house. Jay Smith, A-Snoop Inspection. A-Snoop.com is the website. A-Snoop.com. And Jay, final thoughts, man.
Hey, if you're buying a property, get it inspected. I mean, that's the biggest thing. I know some people will cut it out, especially if the market comes back the way we expect. If we get down into the fives again, don't cut out those inspections.
Especially on new construction.
Yeah. And I do new construction, and sometimes I shake my head. And sometimes it comes out pretty good. I mean, every one of them is a little bit different. I've done quite a bit of new construction the last couple of years. I've got another one scheduled on the books for next week as far as just going out and doing it. And it's not a pre-drywall. It's the final one. But I even recommend the pre-drywall. Going out there and checking it out, and then the final inspection before you do your walkthrough.
Yeah.
We go through the house and see what we find. Yeah,
you need 2 on new construction up front before they close in the drywall, and then you need 1 at 11 months, 11 months, because that's when your 1-year warranty runs out.
Absolutely.
Jay Smith, A-Snoop Inspection, longtime friend of the Consumer Quarterback Show. Thanks for coming in, buddy. All right, coming up, Patrick Highland, host of the Sports Zone and also local insurance agent. He's going to talk with you here on the Consumer Quarterback Show coming up. Follow us online. We'd love to connect with you at BrandonRimes1, at CQB Show. We got the Rumble channel. We got our YouTube and all that good stuff. Please subscribe. We greatly appreciate you. And we'll be right back here on the Consumer Quarterback Show, ConsumerQB.com.
Hey, I'm Ken Shamrock, and you're here with Consumer Quarterback Show. And I say, Brandon Rhymes, knock out your competition.
You're listening to The Consumer Quarterback, Brandon Rhymes, online at consumerqb.com. Brandon is Tampa Bay's #1 consumer advocate for real estate and financial advice. Call Brandon today at 813-917-1894.
All right, welcome back. Thanks for sticking with us here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. We greatly appreciate all those that support the show, support the hotline, and all of our expert contributors here in Tampa Bay. We make you a little bit more street smart on the Consumer Quarterback Show, and we got Patrick Highland in studio with us. He is host of the Sports Zone. That's his Sunday show, and also he's a local insurance agent. So we're going to talk about Medicare here in just a moment. Also, Paralyzed Veterans Association, doing a lot of good work with the veterans out there. So we greatly appreciate that. A couple of hot listings. As you know, we like to feature our real estate properties live on air, and we help our sellers sell faster for more money, maximizing the exposure and the profit on the sale of their real estate. We got a hot listing here at 14135 Cypress Circle. This one's in Carrollwood. Beautiful property in Carrollwood, Florida. I love Carrollwood. A lot of people really love that area. 222, so you have 2-bedroom, 2-bath, 2-carport. 1,308 square foot single family home right here in beautiful Tampa Bay. Villa style condo, Cypress clusters at Carrollwood Village. Covered front porch, beautifully tiled floor, living room that flows effortlessly into the dining room and den. And I love the interior. If you look at the kitchen here, which they say, of course, is the heart of the home, right? You have the lighter color cabinets. The granite is a lighter color as well. Stainless steel appliances. Beautiful pool in the community area here as well. 14135 Cypress Circle. Beautiful villa-style condo in Tampa Bay. Great opportunity to buy real estate. 3327 Turks Cap. We have vacant land for sale. If you ever wanted to buy and build your own dream home, now's the time. This is a great opportunity with a you're situated on a clear canal with 75 feet of water frontage. You have unobstructed views of the Gulf of Mexico and west-facing Florida sunsets. Beautiful property, no HOA or deed restrictions right here in beautiful Tampa Bay. Check out 3327 Turks Cap Drive, Hernando Beach, Florida. And you can see all of our listings at platinummvpteam.kw.com.
Buy dirt, find one you can't.
All right, yeah, buy some dirt, build. Great opportunity right there. Patrick Highland back in studio with us. Welcome in, sir.
Thank you, Brandon. Always a pleasure to see you and be on the air with you, my friend.
Yes, sir. I love it, man. And you've got the popular sports talk show on the weekends, and got a nice supporting cast there with you. Scott Levinson, and I think it's his son now too.
Josh, good kid. Patrick Jr. will sometimes come on with us, and
sweet.
We have a good time. And Super Bowl Sunday coming up, baby.
That's right.
We're going to see who wins it all.
What do you think
Philly
about,
or KC?
Well, what's the big controversy is you see that video. This guy said, "Hey, I just bought a new Chiefs jersey," and he pulls out this bag and he pulls it out, and it's the uniform of the umpire or the referee.
I like
right?
those.
So, well, he's got the referee. You know, it's like, hey, they're getting preferential treatment.
Just a little.
In other words. Right, yeah. What do you think?
NFL's not a business, is it?
Yeah. Is it an entertainment league, or is it...
That's the problem.
Right?
It used to be competition league.
Yeah.
Now it's entertainment league.
Yeah, I mean, you had guys like my old coach, Andre Waters. You know, they
yes.
call him Dirty Waters. And you come across that middle on him and the Eagles, boy, they're taking your head off.
Yeah, man. We come to play.
Yeah.
We're not here to play flag football. Okay, we're here to play tackle.
But they're here to keep the quarterbacks in the game for sure.
Well, because that's the big money, baby.
That's the big money.
Show me
guys.
the money.
That's it. Yeah, so it's changed. You know, it's interesting to see how that's changed over the years. And
it's funny, Tom Brady talking about how things have changed.
I saw that, a little clip there.
Yeah.
Like,
he benefited from the rules. Okay?
Yeah, oh yeah.
So now I think changing the Lombardi Trophy to the Brady Trophy might be pushing it. I know we're changing the Gulf of Mexico to the Gulf of America. That would be a little too much.
Now, that one I can get behind.
Okay.
I don't know about the Brady Trophy. I like the traditional Lombardi. I mean, I like that.
Thank you.
Good.
So do I.
Let's keep that in play. I hadn't heard that rumor, but
yes.
That's a good one. And I like the Panama Canal coming back to, our control. I mean, can't you believe we just played it in the episode before, but the segment before, but on Ted Cruz's podcast, he's talking about $15 billion taxpayers of today's money was spent on the Panama Canal, and then Jimmy Carter just gave it away. Wow. Unbelievable.
It is. There's nothing wrong, Brandon. It's Brandon Rimes' household first, right? You can't worry about Patrick Highland's household. You have to worry about Brandon Rimes' household.
Yeah, first, and then maybe I'll
help
you
can
my
help me
out
if you can.
Exactly.
So as soon as we're right and rock solid here in America, then let's start helping out other people. But when I have people in California and North Carolina going through heckin' high water, okay, little problem with that, man.
Yeah.
Little problem.
Well, exactly. Speaking of that.
And our veterans, too.
Our paralyzed veterans. Talk about that association.
Great people there helping the paralyzed veterans get the help they need. Agent Orange, they're starting to realize now that these poor vets are getting more things. Sleep apnea now. It's proven that Agent Orange has something to do with this. And I'm sorry, I guarantee PTSD has something to do with that. I know if I suffered from that, it'd be hard for me to sleep. Yeah. Brandon, you and I have enough anxiety, running businesses, running shows. Imagine if we saw some things that would really not be normal.
I like what the state legislator did a couple years ago, too, where they extended PTSD benefits to first responders. I mean, these guys, they're showing up to these horrible accidents and seeing people with all types of injuries. And yeah, I'm so glad that they extended that to them, at least the coverage is wise.
That I can get behind. We talk about things we can deal with. We're more worried about what words I might say to offend somebody than people having to go through that trauma of seeing that.
Right.
Do you think maybe one's a little bit harsher than the other? I think so.
Yeah, absolutely.
It has to stop. We have to get back to common sense in this country. We need to help out our veterans. We need to help out our citizens.
Yeah.
I'm just a big proponent of that. Being an insurance agent, I'm a fiduciary, Brandon.
Yep.
I do the right things for the right reasons. Okay?
Yeah.
It can't be just a win for me if it's not going to be a win for you.
Right.
Why are you going to try to put me in a house, $1 million house, when man, that's going to be tough for him to make that payment.
Right.
But let's push it through. You don't do that to people.
Yeah.
Let's get you something you can afford. Or, hey, Patrick, I really want $1 million life insurance policy. Your budget doesn't equate to make that happen. I'm not going to push it through and put you in a burdened financial situation. I have to sleep at night.
Yeah.
And I just wish we all could get back to that. The more people you help out, the more you're going to get helped out in this lifetime. It's real simple.
Well, you brought up a key point. By the way, if you just joined us, Patrick Highland in studio with us. He's host of the Sports Zone show on Sunday mornings, 11 a.m. Sunday mornings right here on 860 The Answer. Also a local insurance agent and longtime friend of the show. You mentioned a big word there, fiduciary. Can you explain what that means?
Yeah, I have to do what's best for the client. It's not about just selling, for me to make a sale. And I've always operated that way. If it's not the right fit, we're not going to do it. Okay?
Yep.
And there's not a one-size-fits-all for anybody.
Yeah.
If it's close and it's a gray area, so be it. I mean, we're not going to get silly now. If I represent a company that says, Brandon, it's going to be $1,000 a year with this company. Well, Patrick, I heard I could get it for $990 with this company.
Yeah.
Well, I don't represent that company, and there's reasons why, Brandon.
Yep.
Okay? And I hope I'm worth more than 83 cents a month for you to do business with me. And if not, maybe we ought to just shake hands. It's like, hey, Patrick, look, the seller's willing to do this. I've done everything I could to get the price right.
Right.
Now let's go, let's do business.
Yeah.
There's penny wise, pound foolish, and don't be petty either. Let's work together. Everybody has to make a living, but you don't need to sell me a house to put your kids through college,
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Well, the word fiduciary really means a lot, especially in the financial advising space, because a lot of these so-called financial advisors, they'll put you in a mutual fund, for example, and a mutual fund, 95% of those mutual funds do not outperform the index, meaning I could invest directly into the S&P through an index fund without any of their fees. So basically you're overpaying for underperformance, and they're not fiduciaries. So that's a big point. Patrick Highland, he is a fiduciary, and he can help you primarily with Medicaid is what you wanted to talk about.
Well, Medicare is, the big thing.
I said the wrong word.
It's
Medicare.
okay. No. And, anybody out there, though, I'm glad you brought it up because you and I are blessed, okay, and a lot of other people are blessed, but some people have had tough times.
Right.
Some people only get $1,000 a month on their Social Security check.
Wow.
And they're in Section 8 housing. Now, people like that, I'm going to help them get on Medicaid and then get other benefits so they're not living, to the point of, in a doggone, I don't want to say
poverty level. Essentially, some people
in a doggone, third world housing and environment. I don't want to do that to folks. That's not cool.
Right.
I mean, so if we can help them, do that, let's do it. I do believe, Brandon, to have a good society, we do have to help out our fellow man. But again, it goes to, you got to budget your own house first. We got to take care of the main things first. Then we can take care of people that maybe aren't as fortunate as others.
Yeah.
I do believe in necessity, okay, versus nicety, okay?
Mm-hmm.
It's nice to have a lot of things out there, but we got to control ourselves and do more pertinent things. And that goes for everybody out there. I just try to do the pertinent things for people every day. That's what I pride myself in. I have fun doing the sports show on Sundays. We have a great time with it. I've loved sports ever since I was a kid. I was going on the air when I was 10 years old down in Miami with Larry King on WIOD. Nice. Just something I've always had a passion for. Yeah. And I think it's great for people to get in their cars and drive around. Or back in the day, a lot of games were sold out, Brandon. You know this. So you'd have to catch games on the radio, or boxing matches, or hockey matches, or baseball games.
Well, wasn't it also a few years back when the Buccaneers, Tampa Bay Bucks, were having the blackouts?
Oh, yeah.
Right, so those TV contracts said, no, you can't show the game. So could listeners have to tune in and listen on air then somewhere?
That's my way. That's my way. You
that's the only way they can catch up with the game.
Or you could get crazy and drive to your old neck of the woods down there in LaBelle and catch the game seriously, or drive up to Ocala.
Got it.
You had to go out like 100 miles outside of the stadium.
Got it.
So it's kind of funny.
That is interesting.
How things change and happen, to say the least.
I really like that idea of helping, seniors and the role of government and the role of, just a more powerful force is to help those that are vulnerable and those in society that can't protect themselves. That gets into the abortion talk and all that, right? But when you think about seniors, man, they really had it rough over the last several years because when interest rates were low, so were their payouts on a lot of retirement plans.
Yeah, well, it's like you said about the mutual funds, and people do that, and it depends on your risk. Now, if you want to play that game, okay, you want to play Vegas, let's go, Brandon. Yep. Here's your risk and reward. Know going in what the deal is. And here's the thing. Why am I going to worry about making an extra few $100s on you and put you through that risk? It's not worth it to me.
Right.
Let's just be steady. And again, it depends on your age. You know, there's a lot to be said for that. You know, and these poor seniors haven't planned. It's the old adage. It's not people don't plan to fail. They fail to plan.
Yeah.
So if you plan accordingly, you don't get put in these situations. But I don't want to discard people that were handyman all their lives, plumbers on the side, carpenters on the side.
Yep.
They didn't put a 401k together. They didn't put into the Social Security system.
Yep. Cash business.
Yes. So what are we going to do? Cast them aside like they're, rabid dogs? No, come on. We're better than that too.
Absolutely.
So that's what I do love about this country. And, I think things are going to get better for all of us, Brandon. I think the housing market's going to get better. I think the insurance market's going to get better. It's going to be good for everybody, and that's what it's all about.
Yep,
So,
I love it.
yeah,
Reach out to the hotline. We'll put you in touch with Patrick. Any questions on Medicare? You want to talk sports with him? 727-263-3707. Call or text the show hotline at 727-263-3707. And we promise to get right back to you before our head hits the pillow and put you in touch with Patrick. You can also submit an email form on the website, consumerqb.com. Online at consumerqb.com. You see all of our expert contributors there. What time's the show on Sunday?
11 and 12, Brandon. And it's funny that you would say that because I always say, hey, look, let's sit down and have a cup of coffee together. Other guys say, how about an adult beverage, Patrick? I go, that's fine, too. And then, we'll sit down and talk and see if I can be of help to you. If I can't, let's be friends.
Yeah.
And guess what? We can still talk sports.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's all fun, man. Anybody needs to call me directly. I'm always available. Or you get my voicemail. But like Brandon said, I return my phone calls before I hit the pillow.
There you go.
813-966-1052.
Yeah.
And real easy to get a hold of and help you out. And, you might be listening to the show right now, and what we're talking about doesn't pertain to you, but you might have a family member or friend who needs help. Here's another big thing, Brad, I want to share with the folks out there. There's a program called Veteran Aids and Attendants. Anybody who served during wartime, okay, if they need nursing home care, assisted living care, home health care, and they serve, right now it's mostly Vietnam vets.
Okay.
I'll get an occasional Korean vet, but they pretty much passed away. But they do have some spouses that are still with us.
Okay.
So I can help them out too. I mean, we're talking a few $1,000s to get home health care. So if the kids are taking care of their mom or dad, or it's a husband taking care of the wife or vice versa, there's money they don't have to deplete from their savings that they can leave to their kids or worry about running out of money. So, there's just a lot of things.
Give that number one more time.
Yeah,
buddy.
give me a call at 813-966-1052.
All right, good stuff. You. Patrick Highland, host of the Sports Zone, also local area insurance agent. Thanks for coming in, man.
Thanks a lot, Brandon.
My pleasure. All right, coming up, Corey Van Valen. We're going to talk with him. He is a local magician. He's going to be at our next gratitude party, by the way. Save the date, Thursday, February 20th, 6 o'clock over at Brio Tuscan Grill. If you want to see him live, and you'll meet. We're also going to have some giveaways here, too. So he's got an upcoming event, some free tickets coming out. I think it's for the first 3 listeners. So stay with us here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. Coming up, Corey Van Valen, and we'll talk with him here in just a moment. Don't go anywhere.
This is Warwick Dunn, and you're listening to the Real Estate Quarterback Show, hosted by my man, Brandon Rhymes.
To get in touch with Brandon, call 727-263-3707. Online at consumerqb.com.
Join us next time for the Consumer Quarterback Show.